It's known that women are more resistant to nicotine replacement therapy and show a greater tendency to relapse when attempting to quit smoking. So we know that smoking affects men and women differently, neurologically, physiologically, etc. But just recently, actually today, some research came out from Uppsala University in Sweden, where researchers gave 10 women an intranasal dose of nicotine that is equivalent to the amount of nicotine found in one cigarette, just one cigarette. And it also was accompanied with a molecule that had a radio tracer on it that binds to what's called aromatase. So aromatase, also known as estrogen synthase, is an enzyme involved in estrogen synthesis. It promotes the production of estrogen. So they used functional MRI and they used PET scan, positron emission tomography, to trace via this radio tracer to see, what it was doing to the aromatase. And they found that in the thalamus, which is in the limbic system, involved in behavioral and emotional responses, there was an inhibitory effect of the nicotine on the aromatase. And so it reduced estrogen production. Very, very fascinating. So what are some of the problems if we start to reduce estrogen production? Again, this was from the amount of nicotine in one cigarette. One. Right? It's pretty crazy, I think. So low estrogen, right? It's not just, sexual reproduction, sexual function issues, right? It's also greater risk for osteoporosis. It's involved in, bone density. Greater risk for developing obesity if you have low estrogen. Not to mention things like cardiovascular disease. So very, very serious, and it happened just from one cigarette's worth. Again, it was an intranasal dosage given. So pretty cool stuff, I thought. Very short, very sweet, very simple. But, just know that, if you're a woman, if you start smoking, typically it will be a lot harder for you to quit. So maybe just don't start in the first place. What do you say? Now, what's really fascinating, on another note, and I didn't even plan on mentioning this, is if you look into it, nicotine actually itself has some anti-inflammatory properties to it. So it's really, really fascinating chemical, really fascinating compound. Because then when you smoke, obviously you induce damage to arterial walls and the brain and the heart in general and things like that. And, maybe if there was a way, there is some useful purpose for nicotine out there, but it is so addictive. And actually a lot of addictive drugs, they do target that region of the brain, the thalamus, as they were talking about in the study. So just pretty neat stuff. One more reason to stop smoking. Women, it can lower your estrogen levels. Now, they didn't test this in men. And again, it was a small sample size. It was only 10 people. But the effect was unanimous. And, it was with functional MRI and PET scan. So it's pretty legit, right? The proof's in the pudding. They were seeing the images literally, on a computer they were looking at. So seeing it happening in the brain. So how long... Claro Ferveri. How long have I been working out or training? You want to hear the story? Who's got time? Maybe I'll do a whole video on that one day, on like an anniversary. But yeah, I've been working out since 11 years old. Yeah, been playing sports my whole life, and yeah, when I was 11. When I was 11, it all started. All right. So I was 10 years old. So actually, I think I was 10. I was 10. I was at the ground round. The ground round, they had the best French fries. And I had played sports, soccer, and baseball, and basketball, and, obviously editing this cut before this. And football, everything. I was always a big time athlete growing up. I loved sports and that was my life, right? But from that age range of 8 to 10, every young man, boy gets the little chub, we didn't quite stretch out yet. And I was in that phase, at least at the latter end of it. And my pop was with us at the Ground Round. Rest in peace. He was awesome. People actually used to mistake him for Sean Connery. He looked like James Bond. He was a badass. But anyway, he said, Shane's looking a little heavy. And at the time, I was the French fry king. I used to devour those delicious French fries that they made at the Ground Round. And I heard him say it. He said, no, Shane's looking a little heavy, a little chubby or something. And I put my head down. I was only 10 years old. It was the best thing that's ever happened to me. So then I went home and I didn't look anything up on the internet. Again, I was 10. I mean, things were way different back then. I barely knew how to use a computer. And I just started doing crunches and sit-ups. I didn't know anything else to do. So I just did 1 and 2 and, I couldn't do that many at first, but I did as many as I could until I couldn't lift myself up anymore. And then I would wait a few seconds and then I would do as many more as I could until I couldn't do one of them, right? So then the next day I did it again. And then the next day I did it again. And the next day I did it again. And then I learned another way to do crunches, and it was to put my legs up on the couch. And so I started doing them where I would slide my hands up and down on my legs with my legs bent at 90 degrees and come up to my knee. A way my soccer trainer showed me you can do crunches. And so I just did crunches and crunches and crunches and crunches because I thought if I kept making these sore that I would get rid of all the jelly around them, And now we know that fat spotting is a myth here at When Wellness. We debunked that one. But that's where it all started. So then I was 11 years old and I went from chubby at 10 to having a six-pack at 11. So it's literally all I did. And I was still playing sports. I started to eat a little bit less too. I was never throwing up or making myself throw up or anything, crazy like that. It wasn't eating disorder status or anything. And, God bless the people that happens to. My heart goes out to them. I feel really bad for those people and I hope they stop doing that. But I got an ab lounge. I was, in 6th grade or 7th grade. And then I really started going hard and had a woman from Sears come over who was actually way out of shape. It was hilarious. She brought a Body by Jake, and which we ordered, of course. She didn't just Santa Claus deliver us a Body by Jake. But she was the one who came to show me how to use it, because neither of my parents used much workout equipment. My mom works out religiously now, not like she does, but back then it was a little bit different. It had all these bands on it, I just remember pulling the thing like this. It's not screwed in fully and shit, I'm there was a way you push something not effective at all, It was really funny. I did that every day though. And then I got some dumbbells and I remember, those were the first free weights I ever had, were these 2 12-pound green dumbbells. So I started doing curls, sitting in the chair like this. I started doing overhead tricep extensions, and then I got a 20-pound one, and then 2 20s, and then I remember going to motels with my dad and we would get one at a time, and then a 30-pound one, and doing the overhead tricep extensions with the 30. And at 13 years old, I could do 100 reps of that with the 30, I remember. Pretty strong for a 13-year-old kid. Yeah. So I had strong triceps. And I was doing a 40, actually, like this at 14. So we were getting up there, but I was working out every day. I was doing these, and I was neglecting chest because I didn't really know many good chest workouts. So then I was really funny because I went to my friend's house, Anthony Frescone. I still remember I was in 8th grade, and he had a Smith machine, and he put 135 pounds on it, which is, nothing. But I never worked my chest out. But my other muscle groups were pretty strong. And it came down, it was just sitting on my chest. I couldn't get the thing off. I was now if I was from here, from here upward, I was fine. Because the tries would kick in, the shoulders a little bit. It was just, so then I went home and I realized, these are weak. So I just figured, all right, well, from this part to this part is where I was the weakest. So I went and I started doing a lot of these push-ups like that. And then I started doing them like that, and then more sets where I go all the way. So much common sense to working out if you want to get strong, right? And yeah, from there, I joined the gym. I had my dad sneak me into Gold's when I was 15. You had to be 16 to go there without parental supervision, I think, or at all. And yeah, I started doing that, and it's been something I've made a part of my life ever since. So thankful to Pop for saying I was looking a little hefty at the ground around that day when I was 10 years old. I wish I could shake his hand and thank him for that today. So that's the story, if you were curious, which at least one of you were. Let's see who we got on here. Say hi to the homies. Manny, what's going on? Turby Loaded. D Silves. James Birkenfeld, how you doing? What's up, Ma? Yeah, thanks. You too, for so long. X-Skater. Lucy Beanie, what's up? Or Lucci, whatever. Valvite, always sleepy, what's going on? Column 1 Angel. Okay, I'm done trying. Claudio Fervere. Ricky U, No Filter. Ulysses Medrano, Thomas Bedola. What up? Andrew Wynn Willis. JKKM Jr. How are you guys? Tell me something cool you did today. Paul Krausick. Or something healthy you did for yourself. Even better, something fun and healthy. Like going to the gym and meeting a new goal or something. Anyone PR today or do anything cool or tough and fun or exciting? Danny Kett. Andrew Edwin Willis. We said what's up. Ivan Kostanov. Nate Hughes. Picasso. Claudio Favere. Yeah, thanks for the question. If no one else was interested, it was fun to talk about it. Gypsy Girl. Danielle. What up, Danielle? Susan Corby. Knudsen Yeltsin, what's going on? Wolf Girl. Dangerous when it's a full moon. Love for Enerfan. Brandon Malone. Good to see you on here again, my friend. Gianner, what's happening? Mano Salva. Kyle Bob Morgan Art. What up, Meg? Hotson's 89. Malcolm. ADC Peter. Berlin Bad. SD7 Mares. Fit Boy. Meg, Malcolm, if you were in the clinic today and I didn't see you, well, that was because I'm sick. One day at a time, how you doing? But I should be better in the next day or two, hopefully. Steven Martinez. Lucy Beanie. Lucci, been following for a minute. Keep up the good. Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. I do. Is there anything you would like me to talk about one of these days? I'll give you, 10 seconds to pop something on there quick and, or just type wait if you're typing so I know at least you're, and then I'll wait, but if not, okay. Well, you guys think about anything you want to hear here at When Wellness. The best way to get to us is to just tune into the lives and, because the messages are just bombarded with all sorts of crazy stuff. You wouldn't believe some of the things we get. It's hard. We got to sift through a lot of it. Oh, absolutely. Claudio Fervere, what's my ethnicity? I'm half German, half Italian. My dad's 100% German, my mother's 100% Italian, Sicilian and Napolitan. Lucci Bean. Is it Lucci or Lucy? Lucci. Been working on chest. Need pointers for... Oh, okay. Chest pointers for upper growth. Okay, how about I do that? You know what? Let's do it tomorrow. How about that? I'll do a video on that tomorrow for you, Mr. Lucci Bean. You're our dedication tomorrow. I don't say it at the time, I never say, but I mean, I can if you want. But we'll talk about that. So I'll talk about chest or upper growth. More chest stuff, upper growth. Just kind of delve into a little bit of both. You just tell me what you're more interested in. It sounds like both. So we'll do that. We'll send you a message or tag you. Upper chest. Upper chest, okay. That would be great. We'll do a video on upper chest. You can't. Danielle, you can't bail this time. You're funny. Okay. Yeah, you come meet us there anytime. That I'm not sick. And I will be there. What up, LRJ? How you doing? You guys have a great rest of your night. Thanks a lot. Happy Wellness. Happy belated birthday. We didn't forget to say to Rhonda. Damn, Rhonda. You're cool. We all like you a lot. You're great. We love you. We really do. Everyone around here. You have such a warm spirit about you. And, even when I saw you yesterday on your birthday, which I know you had a pretty good time because I heard you laughing your ass off watching that movie in the other room. My dad, whatever you guys are watching, you were having fun. It must have been hilarious comedy. And I think of your personality when I hear that laugh. I remember the first time I met you, I thought she's different. She's different. She doesn't really seem to take too much too seriously yet. Seems like she actually cares about what she's dealing with, what's in front of her, who's around her, the warmth that she's providing in a new setting, and your comfort level, I guess, around like-hearted people, I guess, or like-minded people, or non. There's something to be said about it. And thank you so much. On my birthday, you got me something so nice, and I wear that cologne all the time. Be smelling fresh as hell out here. How you doing? Can't smell me on here. Maybe one day you'll be able to smell people on Instagram. How about that, Instagram? What do you say? You can put it through the phone. No, but Rhonda, I really think you're an awesome person. I meant when I wrote in that teeny little card that I gave you, but nonetheless I did. And I'm glad you had a nice day. And this year is going to be a great year for you. I know it's going to be a great year for you because you're a great person and you would accept nothing less. Happy belated birthday. It's your day in the book of Wen Wellness. Who else we got? Rodney M. Shelton. Fausto Furnos. German boy. Be lit. Have a fantastic rest of your night. For real, we're leaving now. We'll see you tomorrow. Not sure when, but I'll be there. And we'll be talking about upper chest from my man over here, Lucci. Jess, what's going on? See you later. Thanks.